Hello, everybody, from Studio A in Texas, USA. Welcome to In Wheel Time, your all things automotive car talk show. On today's 2-hour program, we'll take a look at trailering from the hows-tos to the Jeanette Thornley. Along with this week's automotive news. All that and more just ahead on today's jam-packed 2-hour In Wheel Time car show for Saturday, May 30th. 2020. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars down there at the end of the table in the
Howdy, Mom.
Look at Me shirt, and King Conrad DeLong over here with his unnamed shirt. I'm Don Armstrong, who has his logo shirt on.
Well, that way we can find you if you get lost in the Target.
Which I do many times. Yeah, I'm not getting there. I've always been of that age.
Barn finds.
The barn finds, all that stuff. So he's to blame for most of that.
He finds all kinds of neat stuff.
Yeah. But at any rate, thank you so much for joining us. It's been certainly an interesting kind of week with all the things that are happening in Minnesota. And now, actually, it's parlaying down here to Houston. I know that I flew until 11 o'clock last night covering that on the news. So it's been quite a week. But this is a distraction. And before we get going, I wanted to remind everybody that beginning next Saturday, we're moving times, okay? We are moving from this time slot to 2 hours earlier. We're going to go move on and talk about trailers.
Please do.
Okay, so joining us right now is a lady by the name of Megan Seffel, and she is with Nationwide Trailers. And we have her on Zoom, as a matter of fact. I think we do. Megan, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Woo! I love it, and we can see you, and thanks so much for joining us. Tell us, Nationwide Trailers, they're big locally, and for those that are in the Houston area, their location is just inside the Beltway on I-45, the North Freeway, like you're going to go to Dallas.
Right. I think Megan had told us between Gulf Bank and Little York, correct?
That's correct.
Our trailers and haulers. So why don't you kind of give us an overview of trailers? Let's start down there at the very beginning, the basic trailer, and let's move our way on up.
Okay. We've got a good variety of car hauler trailers. We've got all the way down from 16-foot economy trailers up to 20, 30-foot, fully decked out enclosed race car trailers.
Wow.
Economy trailers, it's nice because you can add and take off features to fit what you need. We've got steel decks, wood decks, dovetails. We can throw winches on there for you. So someone who's just starting their project or someone who's going to car shows, we've got something to fit everybody.
And we're going to get to the car show aspect of it later on in our program today. We're going to talk to Randy Borcherding, who owns a company called Paint House. And he is an award-winning builder, restorer, a man of many means, and he builds million-dollar cars. And I know that when you're trailering inside a trailer, you got to be real specific about how you hold that car down inside that trailer. And I assume that you guys have all of that built into the trailers that you manufacture for that purpose.
We do. We offer, there's two of my favorite ways. Of course, you have your traditional D-rings. So then you can tie down on all 4 points of the car. My favorite is E-Track. It goes the length of the trailer, and it gives you a lot more options for where you're going to strap down.
Okay. So, we talk about open car trailers, and those are the kinds that we would take to the racetrack. The Saturday night races, and I know that they're very popular, and the guys, especially up at Houston Motorsports Park, almost all of them trailer them. Well, not all of them. Some of them, depends on where they are in their racing career. They start off with a trailer like we're showing right now, that we put it up on the trailer.
Just an open deck,
Yep.
Strap a car on.
Yep.
And then
you're putting more money into your car. You're just wanting something to get you going. This car's great. It is a pretty low-cost car hauler. This one has 11-gauge steel deck with 4 built-in D-rings. Your fender wells are removable. You've got a nice slight dovetail there at the back. These ramps slide in, so as you're going down the road, you still have a nice, sleek look.
Oh, good. Yeah, because that's always a problem to have. What are you going to do when you got the ramps that have now fallen out on the freeway? So these are all built in here. Yeah. So there's another aspect of that trailer, and I'm sure that you've got it. There's a rack that can go on the front of the trailer to hold my tires and some toolboxes and that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. We offer a large variety of those as well. Of course, we've got spare tire mounts where you can relocate where you want to put the spare. They can be welded into place. We've got different size and style toolboxes that can go on the front tongue. And then right there in the front of the trailer, we can always add a winch plate and a winch. So if you just got your car, you're starting it, you need to be able to get up on the trailer, it's not running. We can add that for a good, nice price as well.
Okay. And then we move into those enclosed trailers, car haulers, if you will, race car haulers. And we're showing a picture of one right now where it's got a huge box on the front of it. I mean, a big one. And then the car hauler, kind of a ramp-like thing in the front.
Yeah, so this is a 28-foot blackout package enclosed. So it's got all the bright LED lights on it. It's got that stealth look. The inside is you've got carpeted down on the walls, and you're going to have your transition flap there going up into the cargo. So you don't have to worry about scraping or hitting that angle. Toolboxes, you've got radio in this one. Exterior loading lights and radios. So this is what you would ideally take to a car show, and you want to be flashy and seen. This is what you want to do it in.
And you know what? That's got my name written all over it. I want to be flashy and seen. I want to be like a Kardashian with my trailer.
This is the way to do it. You can have a little party on the outside. You've got the lights. Tons of storage place in the front of the trailer.
Don needs the disco ball.
Let me just say this about that. I think that Ray needs to have his picture on the side of that trailer. That's what I think.
It is a beautiful trailer, and with all of the great.
You could have left that. You could have left the trailer off of that. Yes, it is beautiful. Oh my God.
And what's nice about the fully enclosed ones is you're completely protecting the trailer or the vehicle. I'm sorry. So you don't have to worry about rock chips, anything flying up and hitting the car. It's completely sound inside of the cargo.
Okay, so I want to get to the trailer that we have the toy in the back, the race car, the show car, whatever it may be. And then we have our little toolbox set up like we've been showing here. But then there's a place for me to sleep and put my head down after a hard day with the shining cloths.
Those are the ones that we are sold out of right now. They've been a huge hit down here. So virtually it's going to look a lot like this. You're going to have that same cargo in the front. We add a window in and an AC to the top. So you get real nice and cozy in there. And then you have your option. Typically it's at least a 14 to 16 foot open deck on the back. And then the slide-in ramps, of course. So you have that sleek look. So pretty much, get rid of getting your hotels or having to pull an extra camper. You've got the all-in-one trailer.
Yes, and obviously, is there water? Like, is there a shower, that sort of thing in there?
The ones we keep, a lot of what we see right now down here is, the side-by-sides and buggies that are going on the back. We can add sink packages to them. A lot of them, the customers like to get real custom. So we can go out to your floor plan. We can go with the standard floor plan. We've got the options for kitchenettes, showers, fully enclosed bathrooms.
So pretty much anything somebody could think of, you guys can build it for them to give them exactly what they want.
Absolutely.
And I understood you had told us before the show that your production's done in Texas.
It is.
So Texas made, Texas proud.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I love about this company is this is a Texas company. Come on down. So I have to ask something along the lines of what you just spoke about, with an open trailer in the back and a place that I can lay my head up front safely with electricity and all of that. How much does something like that start, price-wise?
The really cool thing is they're actually pretty affordable. So starting off at about $11,900, you can get your base package. So
that's surprising.
In there and you want to build it out on your inside, you can get the base trailer for $11,900. That includes all electricals, your AC and heat, your window. Pretty much, you're just going to add your bed and your kitchen and your portable toilet, and then of course it goes up from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if I'm out someplace and I'm sleeping, I'm out in the woods, I'm at the beach, wherever it is I want to be, I want to be able to
racetrack.
sleep there, racetrack. I also want to be able to wash my face and brush my teeth without having to go find
You
some
got to
other
find
facility.
You got to find your teeth first.
Exactly. But I know where those are. They're in the jar right there underneath by the sink.
Yeah, because we know you don't need to cut your hair.
That's right. That's what the rubber band's for.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's great because I don't want to. I gave up going to the beach for the day and coming home all sandy and all that stuff a long time ago. Camping out nowadays is the Motel 6. So I want something like what you're talking about that's a little bit nicer that I can get cleaned up after I've been out there playing in the mud.
Obviously, we have a huge payroll department here with having to, sleep at the Motel 6. So we're just saying we just kind of bring it down to the basics over here. But with you and your trailers up there at Nationwide.
That's what I'm saying. We're moving up.
Yeah, we're moving on up to the east side.
Well, to
In
the
a
north
deluxe
side,
apartment.
to the north side,
Or in her case, the north side.
to
That's
a
it.
deluxe race hauler in the.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the sky. So in Nationwide, isn't you headquartered here in Houston?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think she's actually, you were talking about the company being Texas. This is actually headquartered here in Houston.
How'd you find them?
We're starting to grow. We have locations in other states now, but we are solely here in Texas.
You're kind of like Buc-ee's.
Yeah, but we're growing. We're trying to get out there and reach everybody, and we want to be able to help everybody out and provide the best service we can.
The
but
Buc-ee's
most
of trailers.
They have the best bathrooms in trailers.
And the cleanest
And
ones,
the cleanest
too. Yeah.
bathrooms, clean depends on whether or not you've used it or not.
Well, that's true. I mean, I can't help myself, at my age. We have misses once in a while.
Between that and my teeth, we're in trouble. Anyway, so
Poor Megan's going, what did I get involved in here?
Yeah. So
Well, Megan, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much for the actual tour of Nationwide Trailers. And is it nationwidetrailers.com, I'm guessing?
Yeah, if you want to check out our website, you just go www.nationwidetrailers.com. You can check out all the different styles we have. If you want something custom, we can also do that as well. Whatever you need, we can get it handled, and we would love to earn everyone's business.
Well,
You have a local phone number?
We do. Our main line is 281-931-3000.
Cool.
And it's easy
And
to
as for
remember,
Megan.
except for most people, except for me.
That's why I wrote it down.
I'm so glad that you did. Megan, great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us today, and
We
we
really
will be
appreciate
in
it.
touch. Yeah, you got something new coming out. Be sure and let us know, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. It was nice meeting y'all.
Yeah, nice to meet you, too, and thanks for putting up with us. That's the least that I could say. All right, Megan Safel from Nationwide Trailers. Just ahead, Consumer Reports most reliable 3-year-old SUVs. I think that's coming up. It's just ahead here on In Wheel Time. Next week, In Wheel Time returns to our 10 to noon time slot. That's 10 to noon live, beginning next Saturday, June 6th, on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. In Wheel Time continues after this quick break.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us for today's In Wheel Time program, our car show, our weekly live car show here on Saturdays. Again, next week we go 10 to noon. Mars, you're going to have to get up earlier. Are you going to be able to make it here on time?
well, that's.
You're going to have to come and
I'm gonna
spend the
start
night with
spending
me.
the night in your spare bedroom. You need to clean that out.
No, you're going to go over to Zekin's house.
You get to sleep in the mystery garage.
That's a perfect place for him. Okay, so Consumer Reports sent me a little email this week, a little release that they had, and I thought, well, that looks like something that our listeners or viewers would like to look at, and it's the most reliable 3-year-old large SUVs, according to exclusive reliability ratings from Consumer Reports. So, you want to make any guesses?
I'll probably put Suburban on the top of the list.
Suburban. Nope, not there.
Really?
No.
So that means
You want
Suburban.
to guess again?
I'm assuming Suburban and GMC Yukon XL are all combined together.
Well, now you're talking. So guess what? And this was kind of surprising to me, too. The redesigned in 2015, now 2017, 3-year-old vehicle, Chevrolet Tahoe,
okay. Yeah.
which is kind of a version of a
It's
Suburban.
a short wheelbase Suburban.
Right.
Yeah.
Good blend of practicality and refinement, coddles occupants, quiet, spacious interior.
And you can get 3 rows in it. There's
You
very,
can.
there's very little
can,
storage if you go
I-
3 rows,
yeah.
but you can pack 7 people in it.
For me, if I'm going to do a 3-row Tahoe, I'm going to get the Suburban.
because you want the storage
Right.
behind the scenes.
Right. And for a few $1,000s more, that's the way
It's like
to go.
10 inches, I believe. So I mean, it's
No,
enough to make a difference.
It's a huge difference
Yeah,
between.
you'd be
I've had
surprised.
both of them.
Yeah, exactly. Also, it can tow 8,300 pounds. I'm talking about the Tahoe now, if properly equipped. Okay, moving on. The 2017 GMC Yukon.
So again, the short wheelbase.
Yep, the short wheelbase.
Okay.
Okay, now let's move on to others within the category, SUVs. Could be a CUV, but you don't hear too many people talk about CUVs anymore.
No.
They clump them all in there with the SUV brand, right?
Audi,
Yeah,
Audi Q7.
No,
No.
no Audis.
No.
And this is a surprise for me, too. Ready? The 2017 Buick Enclave.
Oh, I can believe that.
I can, too.
Well, you just had the Avenir.
I did, and we're going to review that coming up in the next couple of weeks. But this is also the upscale, the Buick version of the Traverse.
Correct.
The full size, what we call the full size SUV 3-row.
See, well, this is a CUV because it doesn't have a truck frame. That's the difference for me. An SUV is a truck frame. A CUV is a unibody chassis.
Correct. Front wheel drive, Traverse, Acadia, and believe it or not, the Saturn Outlook.
Saturn Outlook, Acadia, Traverse. I think that,
I thought that Saturn had gone out of business.
well, Saturn's been out of business since 2010.
Yeah. But at any rate, this is a 2017 model, okay?
But they all share that platform.
The one good thing about, now this can only tow 4,500 pounds. And
But
that's
again,
really
it's front-wheel drive, V6
yeah,
power.
That's the
not
difference
surprising,
between a
right.
CUV and an SUV. But they clump them all in as SUVs now. Okay, let's move to the foreign side. I've only got 2, and that's going to top out our list here. What would you guess?
Oh boy, what's the Toyota Tundra SUV Sequoia?
Well, you're close. This one is the 2017 Lexus LX. Right,
Or
which is
460 or whatever
right,
it is. Yeah.
which is Toyota's Land Cruiser. Land Cruiser.
Oh, okay. So it's not the Tundra-based one; it's the Land Cruiser-based one, which
Right.
is much more rugged of an SUV. I would give that an SUV because I believe that is full frame.
Yes, it is.
that has a
It
full
weighs
frame.
a gajillion pounds. as
Very heavy.
Mars and I have driven it, and it feels heavy. But boy, I'll tell you what, you want some sort of a trip that you're going to go see Grandma and Grandpa up in Wisconsin. Boy, that's the thing to take. It just
Highway
glides.
hauler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, part of that's Lexus. Part of that is the platform of the truck that's built on as
Yeah,
well.
and that Land Cruiser platform has been around for decades,
Yes,
so
it
they've,
has.
they've refined it. So the last one in the list from Consumer Reports
Infiniti?
of the most reliable 3-year-old large SUVs would be
The Infiniti.
no, German.
Porsche
No,
Cayenne.
no, 3
Could
years
be in the
old.
Mercedes.
Mercedes. Model.
I don't know that much
I
about the
don't-
Mercedes. It's just
Mercedes-Benz GLS, a 7-passenger
Okay.
SUV. That great big. Actually, the side view of that thing is kind of ugly.
The
but-
profile's not.
Yeah, it's not all that. But if you're not, you don't really care.
But if you're a Mercedes person, it doesn't make any difference.
Right, because it's a Mercedes.
That's
Yeah.
right. It's a Mercedes.
So, let's see. Engines include 362 horsepower twin turbo V6, 4.7 liter V8, 449 horsepower, or
The AMG version.
The AMG version, which is the GLS AMG with 570. I'll take that one.
Yeah.
577 horsepower.
That'll do for a
Anything
starter.
AMG from Mercedes.
Of course,
is
you know
fun
it
to
probably
drive.
swallows fuel. But
Well, who cares?
Who cares?
I mean,
Nobody
it's
cares.
probably well north of $120,000 for the AMG version.
Jeff
so.
is holding up his rainbow over there, giving us a cue about what? I don't want to go there. But whatever the
Thanks,
case
yeah,
may
You know,
be.
it's interesting because a couple of times you mentioned the CUV SUV thing. You know, for a while there, they were really making a big deal about the CUVs versus SUVs. The auto riders, you know, they have their events. We tried a couple of years ago. We said, okay, the market's ready. CUVs are over here. SUVs are over here. It's SUVs at the truck rodeo. CUVs over here, street truck. Did not go over. Did not go over well. All the press deals refer to it as a CUV SUV. The market is not really ready to
separate them.
To separate them.
Right.
That's the reason it goes back. Now, in fact, they're actually moving more back to calling all of them SUVs
Right.
because nobody wants a CUV.
Well, no, I don't think most people really know what a CUV is.
Well, and that's why I don't think they want one. They don't go looking for one. It's got kind of they know an SUV is a big station wagon like vehicle,
it's a suburban.
suburban type vehicle. The CUV is obviously a derivative of that, but it's got some definite differences that most people don't know.
Yeah, but that's all under the sheet metal.
Well, I understand
so
that,
it's a
but-
matter of the driving of it. What do they like to drive? So
but they
to
don't
them,
look at it like, you know,
they
is
don't-
it front wheel drive versus rear wheel
Right.
drive? A Ford Explorer, you know, it's front wheel drive now.
I would imagine
People that go looking for that, they look for an SUV. I like that SUV.
And
they
if
don't
and
care
if they want
it's
a
front
rear,
wheel drive
and if
or
they
not.
want a rear drive, you're going to look at a Durango.
But that's if they go looking for rear drives. People don't go do that anymore unless they're
unless-
looking for hauling.
only
Unless
unless,
they're- yeah,
unless they're
unless they're looking
towing
to
something.
And that's if it's a big tow. Like you said, the other
Correct.
one was what,
As
4,000
opposed to a
plus
pinky
pounds?
toe?
As opposed to a pinky toe that where it's only 4,000 pounds versus 8 or 10,000 pounds.
Absolutely. That's exactly the difference. Actually, it would be the second toe.
So it's just the
So you got
market's
the big
just not
toe and
ready.
then the second toe. That's the one that sometimes is longer on your foot.
Only on your foot, Don.
No, not on mine. Mine's got a little curve to it.
Put your shoes back on.
My toe. Talking about my toe.
But that's why in the industry they offer a pretty full range. You know, you can
Well,
go
they
from
do.
some of these super small CUVs. You know,
But
and-
even there, if you go look at them in the press material, the press releases and stuff, they're referring to them as a CUV SUV, and some of them are totally dropping the CUV. It's just not market acceptable.
you know, even when you look at what's it, the HRV, the Honda, the real
Yep.
small Honda one, but they don't call that a CUV. They do call that an SUV.
Yep, because
So-
that's what people. It's a thing with the consumer.
But I think again, it's the functionality of the vehicle, not necessarily does it have a truck frame or does it have a
Well,
unibody frame.
that's
where
us
that's
as
where we
journalists looking
differentiate
at
it. Right.
You go look at it. You go talk to somebody like my wife or my granddaughter sitting there. Well, all I know is that's the kind of car it is. I don't care if
She
it's
wants
an SUV or
Don's
CUV.
Corvette.
Well, yeah, she does, but that's beside the point.
Then she'd probably want the air conditioning fixed in it first, I'd imagine. Just saying. Well, it works. It just is cantankerous. There's the look-up word for the day.
Cantankerous.
Uh-huh. You want to give us the your definition of cantankerous?
Nope. I can't spell it.
Don Armstrong.
There you go.
That's right. All right. We're going to take a quick break here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about this week in auto history. Hey, you can watch or listen to this In Wheel Time Car Show broadcast on Periscope, Facebook.com/InWheelTime, and on YouTube/InWheelTime. Next week, our new time is going to be 10 to noon. Don't forget. Quick break now. Back with auto history after this.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show him you love him. Keep him safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Social distancing slows the spread of coronavirus, so we should all stay home to lower the risk for everyone. More info at coronavirus.gov. Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You are so lucky that you have tuned in to the In Wheel Time program. Thanks for joining us. Time now for This Week in Auto History. Conrad manages to put together this list. And the reason that we've selected him to do that is because he is closer to history than most everybody that watches this show. So,
Well, I can remember stuff, Don. I don't need to take Prevagen to remember that stuff from your past.
What?
That stuff in your past, I don't want to remember anyhow.
What?
But let's go there. So this week in automotive history, Ray Harmon won the inaugural Indianapolis 500, averaging Ray Harmon.
no.
Haroon. excuse
Haroon,
me.
yes, I was going to say.
Won the inaugural Indianapolis 500, averaging 74.6 miles an hour in the Marmon Wasp. And if you've been out to Tailpipes and Tacos with us out there at Lupe Tortillas and Katie, Stan has a made-up version of the Marmon Wasp that he brought out to the show.
I actually saw that Marmon Wasp, the winner, is actually on display at the Indy 500 Museum in the infield of the Indy
Yellow, big, tall, skinny tires.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine averaging 74 miles an hour
500. With no seat belt.
over 500 miles, which means there's points in time that big old honking car is doing over 100 miles an hour down the back straight. Not for me. You know, you're eating bugs anyhow, but beside the point. In 1923 was the first run of the Le Mans Grand Prix endurance run in Le Mans, France. In 1937, Ford manufactured its 15 millionth Model T automobile.
That's on display. So, is it at the Henry Ford?
Yeah,
Is it on display?
Greenfield Village. Yeah. There are lots of cool stuff up there. If you've never been to that place as a museum, it's well worth going to. In 1930, in New York City, the Chrysler Building opened up. And at the time, it was the world's tallest building, and it was just shortly thereafter they finished the Empire State Building, which towers over it. But the Chrysler Building is that Art Deco building with all the stainless. It's a stunningly beautiful building. In 1934, Bonnie and Clyde were killed in the shootout in Paris, Louisiana.
I believe the correct term is ambushed.
And, well, it was ambushed. Well, it was the cops took them out, but they were driving their 34 Ford Deluxe that he had wrote the letter to Henry Ford bragging about what a great car that was because he used it all the time.
And the
He'd get away.
V8 motor.
Yeah,
and the
it
flathead.
outrun everybody.
In 1937, this week, the Golden Gate Bridge opened up to vehicular traffic in San Francisco. If you've never been on the Golden Gate Bridge, it's well worth it. It's a beautiful, stunningly beautiful. And in 1991, the movie Thelma and Louise debuted in theaters.
Have I seen Thelma and Louise?
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
I don't
You probably dated Thelma and Louise. And then finally, in 2005, 23-year-old Danica Patrick became the first female driver to take the lead of the Indianapolis 500.
Thank you very much, sir. If you got a question or comment for us here at In Wheel Time, shoot us an email, info@inwheeltime.com, or through our Facebook page. Next up on the In Wheel Time Car Show, Top Fuel Harley pilot Jeanette Thornley. Stay with us.
Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at TexasTruckWorks.com.
Do you know what teens just love? Not being told what you're supposed to love. That's not anyone's business but yours. It doesn't matter what you love, but if you love it, click it. That includes you too. Because in 2018, 42% of Texas teens who died in traffic crashes were not wearing their seatbelts. Make sure everyone is buckled up. Every rider, every ride. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
This is your weekly go-to award-winning car talk show, In Wheel Time. Coming up, we talk with Top Fuel Harley pilot Jeanette Thornley, who gives us the latest on NHRA drag racing and a look at trailering that drag bike beast as we continue our discussion of car, bike, and toy trailering. And we're going to chat with Randy Borcherding at Paint House on how he gets those $1 million rides trailered without damage. We'll explain that and more. We also have our Ram Tracks feature, an inside look into the Ram Nation, and the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars down there, King Conrad here, Don Armstrong here. Glad you could join us today. We've been talking about trailering. We got an overview at our last 30 minutes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about trailering. Is Jeanette ready? She is. Okay. Let's talk to Jeanette Thornley. Jeanette, it's so great to see you. How have you been?
You can see me? No.
Yeah,
Well,
we can see you.
We can see you, and we're working on getting your picture up full, but we can hear you just fine. So we're glad that you could join us today, and thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to join us. So have you been drag racing at all this year yet?
We were able to get out for 2 events early in the year, but it obviously came to a quick close in March.
In March, yeah. Well, it's been really tough on all sporting events, and particularly drag racing, I think, has really hurt a lot. And I know that they're still trying to iron things out. I know that last week, I believe it was, that they had announced another revised schedule, putting the Houston race back into October now. Originally, when they rescheduled it, they went from April to June, and I just knew that wasn't going to work. So we'll see if that all plays out. So when is your next race?
So the current schedule that was announced early May did not include the Mickey Thompson Top Fuel Harley revised schedule. That, along with the Pro Mods and a few other classes. So I honestly don't know the exact plan for that. I'm guessing once they really finalize what Mellow Yellow Series is going to look like, getting the Top Fuel cars and funny cars in place and at location, then they'll put us out there.
Well, let's hope so.
When they can.
Because I have to tell you that nothing to do against pro stock motorcycles, but I just find the Top Fuel Harley bikes
Much more exciting
because we're talking about 1 million horsepower on 2 wheels with a great big slick on the back of it, doing a jillion miles an hour. I find it a little bit more exciting. That's not a put down of pro stock. Everybody's got a time and a place, but I do like your division. So let's talk about your trailer that you haul your Top Fuel bike in, because we're kind of focusing in on trailers today. And I know that on the professional side of things, they're a little bit different than your regular car hauler for a Saturday night, aren't they?
Yeah, and everybody has their choice of how they want to travel, what level of comfort they need or want and can afford. We have been fortunate enough to land ourselves just recently, actually, as we planned for the Top Fuel class, a stacker trailer. It's made by Lee Trailers, and previously owned by Junior Pippin, if you're familiar with that.
Sure, yes, of course, yes,
Yes. So, Chip Ellis lives here in North Carolina, not far from us, and we happened to stumble across it last year. But we're fortunate enough to have to acquire this last year. It's a stacker trailer, and a lot of people say, "What do you need? All that room for this one motorcycle?" And it is a luxury. Again, we're very fortunate, but if the weather doesn't cooperate and we need to do some repairs, we can jack in the trailer, lift it up and do the repairs we need, whether it's too hot or too cold, wet. So we're very fortunate, with that.
Well, yes, and I was just going to say that, so what she's referring to is that most professional drag racing trailers have an awning come off the side, and they do all that work outside, where she's saying that they are fortunate enough that they can work on this bike inside the trailer itself, where you couldn't do that in most professional classes of racing. You're talking about cars. And so, and a stacker trailer, meaning that you've got 2 levels inside the trailer, correct?
That is correct. So again, stepping into the NHRA, platform, there in versus, when our class was, one of the premier classes at the other sanctions we ran. So we take our golf cart. We also take our pit bike, which is what I get towed with. So there's more things that we'll need, at the racetrack to find it accommodating. So
you just basically got to take your whole shop with you, because if anything happens or you need anything, you just got to have it there.
That's ideal. Again, we've been very fortunate. We know folks that, race out of a van still, or a smaller trailer. And, God bless them. I just know that, my husband is that person. He likes his creature comforts. And when he's comfortable,
Mama's comfortable. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, it does help with the mental side of things, staying, when it gets blistering hot and we can go in an air conditioned, trailer, it does enhance our overall, I think it enhances our overall outcome.
Well, and you spend so much time at the track and you're working so hard when you're there, it sure is nice to have all the convenience of home on wheels while you're there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, dreamchaserracing.com.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's where we can find all about you. Actually went there and saw your nice website yesterday, and really appreciate catching up with you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and we're looking forward to some kind of schedule this year where you can get out there, and hopefully we'll see you either here in Houston or in Dallas in the fall.
Right on. I know they had us on the Dallas schedule originally when the, that revised schedule came out in June, the first one. So, God willing, we'll be there. And thanks again for having us on the show.
Jeanette, it's great to talk to you. Have a great weekend. Thanks again, and enjoy your time up there in the Carolinas.
All right. Take care, fellas.
You do the
Thank
same.
you.
All right. That's dreamchaserracing.com, and her name is Jeanette Thornley. Time now for our Ram Tracks feature. That's In Wheel Time's weekly look into the Ram Nation. Mars always manages to come up with something different every week, and we always learn a little bit more about all of the things that are available for your Ram truck, and also the clique called Ram Nation.
Ram Nation has been a little, they get really involved in natural disasters and things like that. But this week, because we were talking about
the philanthropy part of it, yes. They don't bring natural disasters.
No. They support
that
it.
We would leave that up to Don Armstrong. He just kind of like the kid on Snoopy and Linus and all that. Yeah, I bring the natural disaster. Mm-hmm.
But I happened to be this week looking, while we were talking about the trailering aspects of it, I happened to be looking at the commercial vehicles over on the Ram truck side. We don't talk about the commercial vehicles very often, but, because we're more into what we drive. And one of the couple of things I found was about the telematics. They've got lots of things, but the thing that caught my attention was the Business Link. Now, this is a program, if you're in the commercial business and you get into the Ram trucks, Business Link. And what this does, it gets you a lot of special benefits as a commercial dealer at one of the commercial aspects from Ram. You get free loaners if you're an owner. You got finance and service personnel that are dedicated. Got different service hours and repair hours because you are a business. Got priority first in bay service, 24/7 towing. Got shuttling, and they've got a stock of inventory, for commercial type vehicles at the commercial places.
And that Business Link is about a relationship between the dealership and the business that's supported by Ram trucks.
That's right, particularly the small business aspect of it. The guys that have got the 2 or 3 different fleet vehicles, maybe even 20, that they've got to have them serviced. They've got to be on the road every day. So the extended hours are set up to help that person be involved with a dedicated personnel to get you in and out quick. And they've got a lot of other things over there on the commercial side if you're in the commercial truck business. And
you see a lot of Ram trucks in the commercial truck business, whether it's the pickup trucks, the heavier duty trucks, the ProMasters, all of those things are what fit into that commercial package.
And they've even got some deals on there where you can go in and do some upfitting and graphics to add to your vehicle.
Thank you, sir. Conrad's Car Clinic is next on the In Wheel Time Car Show. We are all things automotive.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would he do that? The train still hasn't stopped. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, it's your All Things Automotive Weekly Car Talk Show, In Wheel Time. Reminder that beginning on June the 6th, let's see, let me think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 days
Half
away.
a year is
we, half a.
Almost.
5 months anyway. We start our move to the new time, 10 to noon next Saturday.
That's right.
10 to noon.
Means I got to get up
Saturday
earlier.
mornings. Back to Saturday mornings with In Wheel Time.
Yeah, that's a good change for us, I think. Yeah. So,
Saturday morning cartoon.
It is. It's the adult cartoon. We're kind of like the Jetsons. Which, by the way, speaking of which, 2:22 this afternoon, we're going to try our next blast off from Cape Kennedy, Cape Canaveral, with the rocket launch this afternoon.
SpaceX.
Yes, the SpaceXer. All right. So time now for Conrad's Car Clinic, a weekly look into keeping your vehicle in tip-top shape. Today's subject: my car won't start. Can you help me?
Yeah. Have you ever had the friend come
Yeah.
up to you? I mean,
Who hasn't?
those of us who are in the car business, quite often that friend comes up, or that person you don't know, but they know somebody you do know, they come up and they give you, hey, my car won't start. Can you help me? So what do you do as a person to go out and try and help them? Generally, it's going to be built around one of two things. The car won't start because the battery's dead, or the car won't start because the starter has failed. So how can you identify the difference between the two of those quickly? Well, probably I'm going to give you 85, 90% of the time, the problem's going to be built around the battery. I do carry a multimeter in my car, so I can check battery.
Of course you do.
Nerd. So I could, yes, I am. Thank you very much.
I've got a multimeter and don't know how to use it.
So you can check the voltage on a battery.
Look good, though.
Standing voltage on a car battery, sitting in your car with the engine not running, should be something north of 12 volts. With the car running, it's probably going to be something north of 13.5 volts. So if the battery has 12 volts, relatively good indication that the battery's good. Now, the next thing you can do is, how does the battery hold up when it's under a load? What I tell people to do is, when you turn the key, either look at the dome light or turn the headlights on before you turn the key and see what happens to the headlights. Because if the headlights go out or the dome light goes out, that means there's no reserve cranking capacity in the battery. There's no depth of power in the battery available to turn the car over. But if you do that and the lights don't go dark, that's a pretty good indication that your problem's going to be in the starter itself, that the starter's not rotating and the solenoid's not clicking or something. So kind of gives you an opportunity to determine, is it the battery?
Kind of narrow it down.
Yeah, kind of separate the two. Now, if you've got 12 volts standing still without the engine running, and you have 13.5 volts or more when the engine is running, that's a very good indicator that your alternator is working efficiently, because it's putting more voltage into the battery when the engine's running.
Yeah. It supports the car, keeps everything going, and charges the battery.
Right. So go get somebody to jump start your car if your battery's that dead. And when they jump start the car, remember, red on red and black. I tend to tell people, don't put the black cable on the battery. Put it somewhere over on a big piece of metal on the engine on both cars.
Oh, my God.
And that kind of keeps you from sparking.
I would have
something.
a huge lightning bolt underneath the hood going from point A to point B if I did something like
It
that.
wouldn't last very long.
You hook up the red cable first. You hook up the black cable second. That's just
The one thing
generally
that
the
you
way to
missed
do it.
and that I ran across years and years ago was the car wouldn't start in the parking lot. Open the hood, Mom's Buick Skylark. What? The battery, there's not bad wrong with the battery. Dad says, take the cables off. You got a pocket knife with you at the time. There was one in the car. And scrape the cable because of some sort of built-up junk
Corrosion.
that's on there.
Yep, I was headed there.
And pop the cables back on, start it up like that.
Exactly, because a lot of times the battery may be good, but you have that corrosion buildup. If you've ever opened the hood of a car and you see that white, crusty
fuzz
science experiment
on top of the battery cable, that corrosion becomes
insulator.
Creates an insulation or circuit resistance there, so all of the power in the battery can't get into the starter. The other thing that happens is all of the charging from the alternator can't get in the battery, so that becomes detrimental to the car.
You're screwed.
Oh, yeah, well, not necessarily, because a lot of times when you call the wrecker and he comes and shows up and he sees that, I did it as a technician all the time, and to this day I still do it. First thing I'll do is I'll either get it with my bare hands or I'll get a pair of pliers out and try and rotate the battery cable a little bit just to break that corrosion up and get those two pieces of metal.
Connection, yeah.
And then the car starts and drives off on its own, and everybody thinks I've Jimmy Swaggerted the car and just kind of put my hands on it.
I wind up doing that inside my refrigerator about once a month.
Well, you need to get out of the refrigerator, Don.
Well, there's
Next week, we'll talk about the second portion of this, and that is how to help identify a faulty starter and what you can do to that. But once you do get your car started, go get a battery put in it.
All right. Thank you, sir. If you're a member of a car, truck, or Jeep club, we'd like to put your bunch in our car club spotlight. All you have to do is shoot us an email with the contact information to info@inwheeltime.com. Believe it or not, there are some things on the events calendar.
The events calendar is building up. Again, the place I go is Houston Car Shows. Joseph Pledger takes care of that. We've talked to him on the show out at, I think we were out at Autorama one time. Nifty 50s is going to go to an every other weekend event now. So this weekend they're off. Next weekend they're back
Social distancing. Every other weekend.
Every other weekend.
I'm good with that.
Otto's Barbecue is on hold right now because the Fountains has kind of put everything on hold about having meetings like that, but still go out there and support Otto's. We're not real sure what the status is with Tailpipes and Tacos.
By the way, that's spelled O-T-T-O-S, not A-U-T-S.
Yeah, Otto's. Yeah.
Odos.
But, we don't know what the status is right now with Tailpipes and Tacos, but do us a favor. Go out and support Loopy Tortillas. They've supported the auto clubs here in town for quite some time. So go get you some lunch and some dinner out there. Tonight, the monthly cruise-in Santa Fe at 5 p.m. At 6 p.m. is the Kemah Car Show and Meet. At 6:30, there's going to be a Galveston cruise. At 6 p.m., there's going to be the Freddy's Steak Burger monthly cruise-in Magnolia. Jeep night at 3 Acres in Santa Fe is tonight.
3 Acres? Is that?
It's an area of Santa Fe,
Oh,
Texas.
okay. I was going to say.
Tomorrow, May 31st, is the Forest Car Cruise. Don and I, if Don gets the Corvette running, I've got
What do you mean if I get it running? It's running.
Well, it sits under that tarp all the time, and your dog sleeps on top of it. Kind of looks like the
That's why the tarp's on there.
Kind of like the Beverly Hillbillies out there. You never know what's going on underneath it.
Hey, you ought to see me wash it in my Daisy Dukes. Hey.
Whoa, there's a word
an image
picture.
we don't need.
Pour bleach in my ear to get out of my mind. So the meetup for the car cruise, and this is going to be a cruise that's going to go through the state forest, up through Livingston, and then on up through New Waverly and off into the north side of Lake Conroe. They're going to meet up at 8 a.m. On Old Katy Road.
That's where I'm going to be.
9670 Old Katy Road.
Why aren't you coming down there? Is it too early for you? You're going to make it all the way over to Kingwood?
I need my beauty sleep.
Oh, my God.
And then from there.
You need a lot of
I know. I don't know if I could sleep that much. And then from there, they're going to take the tollway around to Kingwood, and they're going to meet up at 9:30 in Kingwood at 23810 Highway 59 in Kingwood.
Okay.
And then they're going to roll out of there at 10:30, and they're going to cruise through the state park.
Yeah, so this afternoon I'm going to wash the car, I'm going to gas it up, clean it up, that sort of thing.
So, and I'm gonna do the same with the rally. We're going to go out and take a cruise.
Well, I'll see you there. God help us. I'm sorry for everybody. Let me just go ahead and apologize right up front. All right, coming up next, we have today's stories making news headlines next on the In Wheel Time Car Show.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to the In Wheel Time Car Show. Thanks for riding along with us today. Time now for the stories making auto news this week. And we start with Ford because one of the most successful and revered special edition high-performance Mustangs, the Mach 1, is returning to the Ford lineup as a 2021 model.
Nice.
And I know that Randy with Mustang, Northside Mustang, he's all excited about that. He's probably on the phone wetting his pants right now. Mach 1 replaced the Mustang GT in 1969 and offered higher performance and better handling than most other versions of the pony car. Except for the ultra-low production Boss and Shelby Mustangs, the Mach 1 could outrun all other Mustang stablemates. The automaker isn't saying much about the 2021 Mach 1, except that it'll be powered by a naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 and be track ready.
And I think this
Yeehaw.
car is going to be more about being road race ready as opposed to drag race ready. From what I've read about it, this is going to be a braking and handling car, not a drag race car.
And what a shame.
Well, no, because the drag race cars are only drag race cars.
Well, I know,
want a
but
car that
when
you
I
can
think
do
about
everything.
a Mach 1, I think about pulling up to the red light. Here's the Mach 1 right there, and you're trying to figure out, what has he got? The 351. He's got, some of them had the 390.
The police are looking for you right now. The current Mustang GT's 5-liter engine is rated at 460. The engine in the Mach 1 is likely to be rated
Above
higher.
that. And I would imagine they're going to put the flat plane V8 in it
That's
as well.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's going to be what's going to make the Mach 1 unique to the Mustang platform.
Now, here's another Ford story that I thought was pretty interesting. Ford Motor Company testing new software in police vehicles that can heat the interior to 133 degrees, which is enough to destroy the coronavirus. The software, available on 2013 to 2019 model year police interceptor utility vehicles in the U.S., Canada, and other countries, uses the vehicle's powertrain and climate control systems to heat the cabin for 15 minutes and bake potential viruses. The new software feature is among the first examples of automakers experimenting with ways to keep vehicle interiors sanitized in the age of COVID. Ford CEO Jim Hackett has suggested in recent interviews the automaker is exploring ways to add antimicrobial materials in future models. Ford said heat could be more effective than disinfectants or other sanitizing procedures since it can reach areas that could otherwise be missed. Automaker said that hazard lights and tail lights will flash in a preset pattern to notify officers the heating process has begun, and the vehicle's instrument cluster will also indicate progress.
So the
Just
preset
like
pattern
an
is
easy
medium
bake
rare.
Yeah, easy bake oven.
Officer, it's getting a little hot back here.
That's what I'm
While
thinking.
I'm handcuffed in the back seat.
Yeah, we need to talk to you, but here, wait right here for a few minutes.
This is a fascinating story. Self-driving delivery company Nuro said Thursday that it will start a pilot project to test autonomous prescription deliveries here in the Houston area.
Mm-hmm.
Working with CVS Pharmacy, the company will use its Toyota Prius test vehicles and then later that R2 robot thing to make deliveries. Executives from the two companies.
Robot thing.
Well,
technical terms.
Have you seen it?
Well, yeah, but isn't that the
has
one that they're using in the Heights right now out of the HEB, the big HEB that's actually they're using for autonomous delivery?
And you pass that thing on the street, you're going, what did I just pass?
Lunch. Except I don't think you can get into it until it gets to its destination.
You can't get there because it's got those 4 doors on it. It has no windshield. It's
No
a
driver.
robot.
That's right.
There's no driver. Executives from the two companies said the pilot program will operate from a single store, reaching customers across 3 zip codes. And Nuro already has partnerships with Walmart and Kroger.
And I imagine it's going to be those same zip codes that they're doing down there in the Heights.
Probably
that's
so.
pretty cool.
It is cool, but again, you got to have the infrastructure so that thing
to support
knows.
it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just that thing. It's so the people driving around that thing kind of know what it is, too, and they don't freak
Well, but it
freak
can't.
out.
It's got to be able to find the infrastructure well enough that it can find its way. I mean, it can sit there and say, "Here's the GPS," but it's still got to have all the systems
the
to
mapping-
understand
the
where the
mapping within it,
curbs
right.
are,
where the stoplights
where
are.
the stoplights are,
Yeah.
and
How to read a stoplight is being red versus yellow versus green.
All of that good
so when
stuff.
it turns yellow, it doesn't do like Mars does and accelerate. Yellow means step on the gas.
For him, yes, exactly.
I
we're-
thought that's what driver's ed said.
That's it. That's it. There's that memory thing again. Oh, I forgot. And we're going to end this.
Rim shot.
We're going to end this segment on a money note. Billionaire investor Carl Icahn sold out of Hertz Global Holdings, the rental car company that filed for bankruptcy last week, calling off a roughly 6-year bet that lost him almost $1.6 billion.
Yikes.
Icahn, who's 84 and will soon be in his grave after this loss, sold his entire 55.3 million shares on Tuesday for 72 cents a share.
Well, that's.
Ooh.
I was there when GM did that in 2009.
And then you weren't there after that, were you?
All of my,
That's right. That's why you're not there now.
all of my GM stocks were worth nothing.
You're on the Weekly in Wheel Time Car Show. Up next, Richard Tomlin from Apex Auto Works on open trailer towing. Quick message, then on to hour number 2.
If baby could talk, she'd say a lot. You'd know what she's thinking and what makes her happy. But unfortunately, baby can't talk or remind you. You're the one taking her to daycare today, and she won't speak up if you drive straight to work like any other day and never think to look in the backseat. Every year, dozens of kids die from heat stroke in cars. No one is perfect, so set a reminder and always look before you lock. Where's Baby? Paid for by NHTSA.
From Studio A in Texas, it's hour number 2 of the All Things Automotive Car Show in Wheel Time. Just ahead, we continue our discussion about trailering. And our new car showroom is the Mercedes-Benz Metris. I'll take you for a ride, and then after that, we'll talk with a Mercedes-Benz person to talk about a little addition onto the Metris.
Okay.
That I think that you'll really enjoy because it's camping season. I'll just leave it at that. Also later, our Jeep Trails feature, along with the stories making auto news headlines this week. All that and more just ahead in this portion of In Wheel Time, the car show. Together with Mike Out of This World Mars over
Howdy,
there.
Mom.
And with King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us, and thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. And a reminder that next week, our show moves to 10 to noon. Yay us.
Saturday mornings.
Sad for you. What time are you going to have to crawl out of bed?
I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay. It'll be really early because he'll need to be here 2 hours before the show.
Well, he's got to get a hold of the Petticoat Junction train so he can get that.
Petticoat Junction.
Get that train out of Hootersville over there.
Get that schedule going.
The little train moving down the track to the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
But you got to whisper it. Ooh, it's Petticoat Junction.
And then there's Becky up there in the water tower. Hi, Becky. Becky Joe.
Becky Joe. And wait a minute, is that Don Armstrong and those Daisy Dukes across the track?
Way too much.
Just saying.
Okay.
Well, summer's here. Stay-at-home orders are being lifted, and you're ready to put a trailer behind your vehicle. And to gain more insight into open trailers, those without a top, we turn to Richard Tomlin with Apex Auto Works.
Hey guys,
who
good
has lots
afternoon.
of
We're going to talk a little bit
experience
about trailer.
dragging race cars down to Houston Motorsports Resort.
And he takes them down to Mexico also. That's where when he goes racing down there in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
He uses the same setup. And what happened was we were talking about open trailers because years ago, we would go out to Porter. We had a lowboy trailer with the fold-down ramps we were talking about earlier. And that we would use to get there and how we would tie it down with come-alongs and all that stuff. And Richard said there's a lot better way. And that's what he was going. He offered to show us some quick things
guys,
that would be a lot better.
Afternoon. We're going to
All
talk
right.
a little bit
Well,
about
let's talk to
trailer
Richard, shall we?
tie
Let's see
downs,
what he has to say.
Securing your car
Go,
for a
Richard.
6,000 mile
you
tow
got to give
across
us
the
some
country, maybe all
sound.
the way
There you
down
go.
to Cabo San Lucas.
It's on.
And Will Time
There's
asked
no
me to
sound
show you a
coming in
couple of
over
tricks
there.
and things we do that are a little bit different than what others have done in the past.
Well, let's
First one I'm gonna show
take
you
that
is
down for a
most
second.
people,
We'll get
I
back
think
to
where
it.
mistakes
All
are
right.
made is we
But at
tie
any rate,
cars.
Okay, you want to try it again? Okay, let's try it again. So we're having some issues, obviously, of playing back a video that that Richard did for us. And so, Mars, I didn't know that you went to Porter.
Yeah, that's where we went.
That's where I went.
Yeah, we would hang out there.
Wait a minute. I saw you. You were the little kid up there for the ice cream cones, weren't you?
Yeah, that was us. Yeah. Now we had a big block Chevelle, a '69 Chevelle. One of the guys had a 70-mile.
Good afternoon. We're going to talk. Hey guys. Good afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit about trailer tie downs, securing. We're going to talk a little bit about trailer tie downs, securing your car for. Hey guys, good afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit about trailer tie downs, securing your car for a 6,000 mile tow across the country, maybe all the way down to Cabo San Lucas. And Will Time asked me to show you a couple of the tricks and things we do that are a little bit different than what others have done in the past. First point I'm going to
Yeah, it was. She's got some stories. It's
She
funny
does,
to hear
but
her
a
say
front
that.
engine dragster.
Yeah, small block Chevy.
Are we ready yet? Are you
I
done
don't know
fooling
if we're ready.
around over there?
Let's give it another shot.
All right,
So
we're going to give it another shot and see.
Good afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit about trailer tie downs, securing your car for a 6,000 mile tow across the country, maybe all the way down to Cabo San Lucas. And Will Time
Did it
asked me to
anyway.
show you a couple of the
So
tricks
we
and
talk
things we
about
do that are a little
open
bit different than what
trailer,
others
and
have
that's
done in the
all
past.
that there was back in
First
the
point I'm
day.
going to show you is
There was.
most people,
I don't
I think where
recall
mistakes are made is we
maybe
tie
on a
cars
professional or
down
semi-professional
using
level-
tie down
level,
points. Now
somebody
those are
had
made for
a
the
closed
manufacturer and
trailer
used
with
for
a
numerous
car
things.
inside. But
What we have found is that
90%
by time
were all drug up there on an open trailer. Most of them had tires and wheels at the front of the trailer, raised up so you could actually slide the nose of the car up underneath that.
Right.
That went with all sorts of racing, not only just drag racing, but
Yeah, but that was
circle track.
anybody that was racing cars. That's kind of what they had to deal with because that's just where it was.
Well, it was the least expensive trailer you could get.
And we wanted to spend our money on the cars.
Right.
I mean, we blew up an engine every time we went to Porter. Big
That's
block
good.
Chevys. I mean, we just couldn't. 396s, 427s. We couldn't make them stay together. They were boat anchors.
Yeah, well, you were probably trying to, run 7,000 RPM out of those the stock crankshafts
Yeah, it
with
wasn't
two.
Well, the guys, Larry Netterville, our friend there, he was running a Chevy 2 with a small block Chevy in it. He would tunnel ram 2.4s. He was shifting at $8,000. Small block Chevy.
Yeah, but small blocks are designed to take a little bit more.
And,
RPMs than a big
the
block.
big blocks didn't take that. No.
Yeah, because there's a lot more mass you're trying to move around inside there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have some.
We were running Muncie 4-speeds with aluminum housings and stuff. We would just on thin things.
Maybe that's what we should do. We could maybe have some sort of nostalgia day, and we could talk about the way that it used to be. What was that?
Do we want to try this one more time?
Just go ahead. If it starts, then
I need sound from there.
Hey guys, good afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit about trailer tie downs, securing your car for a 6,000 mile tow across the country, maybe all the way down.
Yeah,
No,
we're the first time we've tried this, but we need to do something different
Yeah,
next
I know.
time.
It clearly doesn't work.
We need
so.
to do the recording from here, not on the thing.
Well, we don't want
we'll
to get
work on
into.
it next time.
We're not trying to show our underpants here. We're just trying to be
New technology.
Well, that's a first for
old
you,
guys.
Don.
I'm not wearing any underpants.
That's why we don't want you to show it.
Thank you. I'm not wearing any clothes actually underneath the table here.
Yeah, but when we used to go to Porter from
You
over
just
there,
ignored that, didn't you?
Yes, I did. It was like a convoy. We would take 3 and 4 cars at a time, and we would have a van and barbecue pits. Because out there at Porter, you could set up underneath the trees.
Everybody did.
Yeah, and it was.
Did they even have a hot dog stand out there? I remember getting soda waters.
No, we had to go down. We had to go into Porter itself
Correct.
to find spark plugs one time because we couldn't. We needed a new set of plugs for one of the cars that was running rich.
You just cook your hot dog. You stick it down there between the headers.
Yeah. And then back the
I'm
vehicles.
joking.
No,
I'm serious. It's a heart attack.
you could back up to the fence and just watch the cars to where you could see from the launch to see the return road. The cars came right. It was wonderful.
We didn't get there that early to find a place along the fence where you could park the car and sit on the hood and watch the cars go by. They had a very small, like a little league baseball field stand.
Made of wood.
Made of wood.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That if you slid on it, you get splinters.
And the timing tower was hand built by somebody with had 2x4s and the sheets of plywood.
Leftover wood from the hurricane, the last hurricane.
Yeah, that's just the way that it was. But there was something charming about all of that. We didn't know it then, but that was the charming way. And this drag strip was cut out of the woods up there.
Literally.
It literally cut out of the woods. That's all housing up there now, subdivisions and all of that. All that's gone. But, that was great stuff. And just the opposite of that was Houston International Dragway down off of 45 and Dickinson that had not a tree within sight. It was wide open.
But that was built in a swamp.
It wasn't a swamp. It was right off the freeway. As a matter of fact, if you go down to Dickinson and you see the Walmart over there on the northbound side, I believe that was the finish line.
Okay.
Yeah, because it kind of went at an angle off the
highway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all of that clearly is built up.
And now if you want to do a little drag racing, you can go out to Baytown. They do Friday night street nights. Saturday and Sunday, you can go over to Houston Motorsports Park, and they do 8th mile stuff. Baytown still does the quarter mile. Houston Motorsports Park is all about 8th mile.
And I don't think that it's any secret while we're talking about drag racing. I don't think that's really any secret any longer. We're going to have Seth on to talk about. But I think that the current facility over there at Baytown, its days are numbered, and they're going to move the drag strip up there near Dayton, which is near Crosby, out in that area.
90, Liberty, Dayton, all that.
Yeah, up there off of 90 and 99. And it's
That's
a
a
wide,
shame.
no, not really. I mean, it's a much nicer area. It's wide open out there, freeway accessible. Just makes more sense. Because that area where the drag strip is now over there in Baytown, it is all becoming these massive, huge Amazon-like warehouses.
Industrial parks, yeah.
Industrial park over
Well,
there.
and then the housing and stuff on down towards Cove. All those houses are working
Moving,
their way up.
yeah, and they're going to fuss because they're going to hear
Well,
the
they
drag
already
races,
are.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter where they go. When the nitro cars come, you can hear them about a mile away.
And speaking of trailering,
civilization catches up with
those 18-wheelers are absolute miracles on wheels.
Oh my gosh, they're wonderful. When back when Oldsmobile was involved, we had a lot of relationships with all of the pro stock drivers when they were running all those Oldsmobiles. So we'd go and we'd wear our Oldsmobile clothes and our hats and stuff. We get invited into all their trailers. Sitting in Mark Powick or Larry Morgan's trailer.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was literally like sitting in a real nice office complex. Had a little kitchen. They'd had couches, tables, chairs, and everything. You could just kind of sit in there and relax. Especially in the summer, the late summer event when it was so hot outside. And you can get in and out of into the air conditioning. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Most of those that I was familiar with back in my day, they didn't have sleeping quarters in them. It was strictly, there was the office up front, and then there was the crew chief's quarters right below that, kind of like a go-between between the office part of it, the lounge, if you will.
Very much a lounge, yeah.
A lounge. And then there was the rest of the trailer that held 2 cars at least, along with a body. We had at one time 5 engines, not including the ones that were in the car and the spare
both cars.
Mm-hmm. So especially those West Coast trips, that was a total of like 7 engines. You can imagine how much the thing weighed, despite aluminum blocks. and parts for all of those engines.
And all the tools and all of the equipment it takes to service and maintain the car. I imagine some of those trucks were running pretty close to gross, if not over gross.
Always over gross, and that was the biggest fear, is that you'd be pulled over into one of those weigh stations.
Well, they'd drive around the way. They'd go 100 miles out of the way to drive around a weigh station.
Yeah, if you did that, you take the risk of going to jail. You can't do that. But, yeah, always overweight, and it was always a
and their
concern.
trailers are unique because, you think of an 18-wheeler trailer, and – when you look at the side of an 18-wheel trailer, there's this big gap underneath it. In the car haulers, that gap was utilized for storage. So you ended up with storage from the rear axle, the tandem rear axle of the tractor, all the way back to the tandem rear axle of the trailer, and they would pack stuff in there.
Well, those trailers were actually more along the lines of a moving trailer.
Low boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were.
So there was really very little wasted space in them.
There was no wasted space at all, ever. The things were jammed in there like you wouldn't believe, but there was a place for everything and anything that you wanted in there,
Hopefully.
including the awning that the actual crews worked on the cars, the flooring, the seating, and some of the more well-to-do teams also had a catering trailer or a client trailer. Don Schumacher comes to mind.
Forrest does as well.
because he took all of his cars, they were all lined up together, and in the middle would be a ginormous place to host all of the fans that were
guest sponsors.
Yes, all of that. And then there was,
and they still do that.
They do. And they're still cooking. They always had a chef, and it was really something to see, and the amount of money that was spent on all of that.
And not just at that uber high professional level of racing. When you look at some of the sportsman racing, they still do that. Stan's got a trailer that hauls his stuff out and about. The Emmons brothers have got a wonderful trailer that they haul their stuff out and about.
You get to a certain point, then you just about got to make that step up there to keep your
to support yourself.
Going.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And Dale Holquist, he's got he doesn't have an 18-wheeler trailer, but he's got a pretty nice trailer to haul his toys around. So, everybody needs to have not just something to haul the car. You need something to kind of secure the car and all of the stuff as well. So,
like our first guest said, if you've got a design that's something outside of the norm, we can build it. We'll work with you. We have designers. It's kind of like the whole truck setup that I always talk about. If you're going to buy a truck specifically for you and your needs. Make sure that it has the hauling, the towing capacity that you want. So you're going to get a half ton, you're going to get a 3/4 ton or more. And not only that, but all of the options that go along with it. Do you want the trailer backing stuff? Do you want air ride
the storage
suspension?
in the back? Do you want the lift kits? Do you want the wheels and tires?
Right.
The boosted stereo?
And axle ratios. If you're going to tow a lot, you want a different axle ratio than you want.
390 or 410, yeah.
Right. So those trailers are very much like that. So at any rate. Well, we filled all that time, didn't we?
Yeah. And Randy, coming up, when we talk to Randy Borcherding, the modular aspect, he's going to have some interesting things to say about that.
Yeah.
Well, I think his is more built around a living quarters that can haul a car.
Modular concept, the way he's got everything laid out and the way he's done it. They've done some additional stuff to that.
Well, we're going to talk to Randy.
Here's a car hauler right here.
Let me see that. Who brought that? Is that Zekin's?
Yeah.
Well, play the other stuff. There's the lights. Oh, and it,
sounds like he lost traction right there at the start. the revs kind of jumped up a little bit and then came back down.
These are grown men doing this.
They're toys, playing with their toys.
Yeah. I actually have some as well, but they're.
Well, if you look at the other shot, you can see some of them.
Well, yes, there's some up there, but I've also got my 1950s ladder truck, and we also have the.
Were those yours when you were a little kid?
Yeah, I bought those with my allowance. 50 cents a week at the toy store. I've got more of them in the back there. Well, we could talk about that sometime.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess my passion for vehicles it's a lifetime affair.
Oh, absolutely. So is mine. As long as I can remember, I've been into cars.
Okay. Reminder that you out there can stay in touch with us all week long by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and through InWheelTime.com. Next week, don't forget, moving to a new time, 10 to noon, and we hope that you'll join us live on your favorite streaming service and social media channels as well. This is the In Wheel Time Car Show. Back after this.
Don't watch. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch your soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You know, I guess that what we should do is just not play any of the PSAs or music or anything and just have a break where we talk about things that come to mind.
No, that's
mind.
dangerous. Things that come to your mind are probably not things other people want to know about.
That's hurtful.
Yes.
Why would anybody say something like that to another person?
Because when the sound is off, the things we talk about, like I've said for years, we need to sell on a subscription service.
And I have to tell you, I have to tell everybody that I found that out the hard way back in the radio days when we first started all of this streaming and stuff. And the radio station, what a jacked up engineering mess that is over there at that radio station, because I will and am. Because, you know, in my world of radioing, you turn the microphone off, the microphone is off. Not at this radio station. When the microphone is off, you think it's off. Oh, no. I was saying things that I normally say during our break that you don't hear.
Thank goodness.
We found out that was being sent out across the globe when Mars over here starts getting responses off of Facebook about things that I just got through saying. Well, tell him this. Ah! Are you kidding?
It was shocking, but it was also very funny.
No, it was not funny.
We were talking, and actually, you know, we had some wonder what this means. And then people were answering us and telling us. It was like
thinking, how do they know this? The microphones are off. No, they're not.
Well, the phone microphones were on, I think is what was going on. No.
Oh, no.
We just had the output microphone.
Yeah, that's the reason we started checking every program. We had the producer go check us and make sure.
Yeah, microphone's not on. Okay. I'm not even going to go through all the stuff that I normally would go through. We're just going to get right to the car review, the 2019 Mercedes-Benz Metris. 3 models, the Worker, like the Worker Bee, the Worker, the Cargo, and the Passenger. I got to drive the Cargo 135 WB.
That's a 135-inch wheelbase.
That's I don't know what WB. I assume that's
wheelbase.
Is that what it is?
I
Wheelbase.
imagine.
I was going to say wide body. Because
no, I'm the wide body. I don't think that was a wide body.
Understood. Okay, so 135-inch wheelbase. This is called a special purpose vehicle. In our mode, it would be a van, a cargo van. 8 passengers in the passenger model it's capable of providing. It has 2 versions of the cargo configuration. Exterior model changes from last year, none. First introduced in 2016. I have never heard of it before. Where have I been living? Under a rock? Apparently so. Exterior features, our cargo body had body color panels where the side windows would be. in a passenger van. Has the typical Mercedes-Benz grille. You can't miss the fact that it is a Mercedes-Benz.
Right. It's got the three-pointed star.
The cargo, the painted bumpers are an option in the cargo version. Otherwise, it doesn't have painted bumpers.
Just black.
Yeah, black. Dual side doors, that's an option to allow more versatility in the upfit. What I liked about it, the Mercedes-Benz look about the exterior. The size of it fits between a compact, like the Transit Connect, and a full-size van.
Like the Sprinter, which is the Mercedes big
so
van.
it's very different. In it has no competition, really.
Yeah, I when I saw it, I would say this is more if people remember the Chevy Astro GMC Safari.
Like that, yeah.
Safari size. It kind of a mid-size van as opposed
Interior
to a compact.
highlights, center dash pad holds the infotainment and HVAC controls, convenient storage throughout the front cabin, a stock-mounted cruise control, which was very easy to use, and I like that a lot. Cup holders on the top of the dash. I guess that's what they are. Little round circles. I think you could put you a little coffee up there if that's what you
Or a
wanted
goldfish.
to do. Or goldfish. You could do that, too. As long as it had the thing that kind of fit down into it. Whatever. The cargo trunk room, well, that's what this is all about. It was a
Space.
cargo van. What I liked about it, the cloth seating material and the fabric options galore. I also like the option packages. You can find or order specific to fit your needs, kind of like a truck. 2.0 liter inline four with a turbo, turns out 208 horsepower, which is a lot because it runs through a 7-speed automatic transmission, 250 pound-feet of torque. By the way, that transmission has 3 modes in it: comfort, eco, and manual shift. I thought it was
manual shift. That's interesting. I guess if you're hauling a big load.
Tow rating 5,000 pounds. Payload 2,425 pounds. That's a lot.
That's actually pretty good for a little four-cylinder.
Yeah, exactly. 21 city, 24 highway, combined to 22. I got 21.6 over 238 miles. What I liked about it, the peppy acceleration and great transmission combo. Ride and handling, short turning radius on this thing, which I really did like. Base trim price, $31,200. Price is tested $39,000. Base model price, the worker van, is $29,836. Competitors: Ford Transit Connect for $25,253. Ram ProMaster City $23,284. Nissan NV200 for $23,335. All of those vehicles are smaller than this vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
And I loved it. When you had it here, went out and kind of stuck my head in it because, again, like I've said before, I drive that Transit van. And very good size, lots of room inside. I love the dash and the seating area. I was pretty impressed with it.
I was too, and obviously I don't get to drive cargo vans very often. When I got it, I thought, well, I'm going to get a cargo van here. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk to our special guest, and that's Ashley Gilliam with Mercedes-Benz. She's the PR specialist. And we're going to talk to her about let's just say it's a pop-up camper in this. Does that pique your interest at all? It should.
It's springtime. It's time to get out and about.
Exactly. So let's do that right after this. I hope. If I can get everything to play right. My big fingers. Sorry.
911, what's your emergency?
God, there's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would you do that? The train still doesn't stop. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Let's just get right to it, shall we? Ashley Gilliam with Mercedes-Benz. Hey, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a date that we have set up for, it seems like weeks, hasn't it been?
I know.
I know. Well, hey, thanks so much. And she sent me some stuff just yesterday, I think it was. Yes. And I am so excited about this. It's basically a first new, modern, practical pop-top camper van based on this particular van, the Metris. And I'm so excited. When I saw it, I thought, well, not to talk about competitors, but I thought about the Vanagon the Westphalia Vanagon from VW, back
yeah.
in your grandfather's age, okay? I just had to go there. So
he means his age.
My age, absolutely. New camper van built by a special company, contractor to Mercedes-Benz, and they're in partnership with a company called Peace Vans. Perfect.
Peace.
Peace, brother. Yeah. So I'm going to let you kind of explain this. It's got an elevated roof that obviously collapses, a cloth-type side to it, so you can stand up in it. But it's got a lot of other things going on for it as well. So tell us about it.
So I'm really excited about this product. We actually introduced it this past February at Chicago Auto Show, and people have just shown a ton of interest in this, especially now, you know, as people are looking for kind of an alternative vacation option. This is a great tool for that, you know, avoiding getting on planes and kind of getting away from people. The great thing about this too is, as you know, with the Metris, it's fully garageable. So you can drive this Monday through Friday. It has seating for 5, sleeping for 4. And then on Friday, once 5 o'clock hits, you can take it out to your favorite camping site, to the beach, wherever you want to go. And it's a vacation in a car.
Did you happen to put together some pictures for us of it?
I absolutely did, and I'll share my screen for those now.
Good, because I think when you see this, you're going to go, "Oh wow, I remember those," and I would imagine that you know, this is certainly a vehicle that I think that a lot of families would be interested in, because you're not going to spend a bajillion dollars on a full-size motorhome, because that's what this is. It's small enough you can put it in the garage, as she mentioned, but you can also have good gas mileage, and you can use it during the week. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the major benefits here, again, is just that you can drive this Monday through Friday to work, you know, picking the kids up from soccer practice. Obviously, there's lots of cargo space involved. And then, as I said before, just take it along with you. So I'm going to share this.
Try it
now.
again. My bad. I think I'm set now.
Yep.
There you go. There it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So.
All right. So let me make this full screen. So you can see here, it has the pop top. It has an optional roof rack. So you see they got the surfboards up there. You got the bike racks here in the back, but it is very much still true to just being the Metris.
Well, and what a great little vehicle. I love the 200 horsepower turbocharged engine. There has no turbo lag whatsoever, and the 7-speed automatic transmission makes it feel like it's even got more horsepower than that.
Oh, yeah.
So is this something that you buy a Metris and send off to get upfitted, or is this going to be something that the dealer?
This is the first time we've done it all through Mercedes-Benz. So the really cool thing about this is that the warranty still applies.
So
that's a 3-year, 36,000 warranty, because usually if you buy it and take it to an aftermarket shop to get it upfitted, you know, the warranty
all that goes away.
Yes, exactly.
And you know, while you run through the pictures there, I wanted to mention to everybody, it has options including off-grid power and integrated solar panels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Upgraded audio navigation features, various personalization options. Pop-up camper can be wrapped in any one of 200 available colors. 8-foot awning for shade and rain protection.
I love the awning. I could see that in the picture there.
You can see that here, absolutely.
Mosquito bug screens for the rear hatch and sliding doors. Tent that quickly attaches to the rear lift gate for added space and privacy. Roof racks, as you mentioned, for hauling surfboards. And a pull-out rear kitchen. I'm in. Bring it down. Put it in the press fleet.
Pull-out rear kitchen.
We're working on it now. It's on the East Coast, so it'll come to your side soon enough.
We're so excited. So what do we do? Do you have to go to the Mercedes-Benz dealer
So you go to your local Mercedes-Benz Vans dealer, and what they do is they go ahead and set up your order, any customization options you want, and they send that to our master upfitter partner, Driverge. And so they're actually based in Charleston. So our factory is in Charleston as well. So they're just kind of putting the mattresses over to them, makes it really simple, and they work with you individually on your timeline. So they're able to update you, and they said the turnaround time is about 2 weeks.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No.
Have everything up and running. Yeah. So
and it's delivered through the dealer.
Correct.
So everything, all of this upfit can be put into the basic financing that you're doing for the vehicle as well.
Exactly.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah. Do you have an MSRP starting price for this thing?
Not finalized, but it will be in the low 70K range.
Wow.
Fully upfitted.
Well, I mean, that's for an RV. I mean, you're talking about an RV that you can drive daily, not just something that you got to build a special garage for and park on the side of the house.
I'm in. I'm all in. Yeah, absolutely.
And that you can use for your daily life and not just use for your road
Yeah,
trips.
yeah. You send it down here, and we'll take it out to the beach just like here, and we'll get you some.
No, you
fresh,
take it to the beach. I'm going to
get
take
you
it
some
to the
fresh
forest.
pictures. Okay.
Well,
we'll
the other thing about this is when it's all contracted and packed up, it fits in your garage. You know, so many of these other things, you got to build some kind of an awning or something out in your side yard, and some places aren't going to allow you to
have
do
another
that.
lot next door,
right,
that's
or
big
pay
enough
for it in a storage unit. This is something you can park in the garage.
So you got a fire pit and everything. This is what I'm talking about. I don't see an ice
so this
cooler,
is it
but
with
that's
the
okay.
top down, so you can really see that it is still a true Metris van. And I have some photos of the interior here too. So a cool feature is that the two front seats swivel 180 degrees. And there's actually a standard table as well that sits under the back seat. And you just pull that out and you can have a meal, you can play cards, but it creates a nice little kind of living room feel of an area. So you see back here, this is the bed folded down. And the size of this bed is between a full and a queen size. So it's actually pretty large here. But once you're driving, obviously you flip the seats back forward and you can lift that up and you can fit 3 people on that bench back there.
I love
And
this.
this,
I love
what
the
everyone
swivel
wants
front
to
seats.
see.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And what am I showing here? Is this the tent for the back?
Yes. So this is the pop top.
Oh, this
So
is the pop top.
The pop top. Yes. So this is a twin size bed up here. It's a 2-inch memory foam mattress. You see, you've got the 3 windows here, so you have a nice view as you're camping out. You also have little USB ports right here and here in the corners. And so there's actually a second battery that comes standard on the mattress that helps you to power your devices or anything else you need.
Ash, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you borrowed this and taken it out for the weekend?
I have not yet. I did sit in it for a long time at Chicago Auto Show, and I will say I very easily could have taken a nap in there.
You've got your name on the wait list for a weekend or a week?
Oh yes.
Yeah, you got to know what you got to experience the product so you really know how to talk about it.
That's right. And if you need any help with your boss, just tell him to call me and we'll put in an order for you, okay? And that's of course after you get it, then we get it.
Yeah, we got to check it out too and make sure everything's good.
And like you said, this is at a Mercedes dealership that sells the vans. You know, not all Mercedes dealerships sell the vans and commercial vehicles. And I think the play is if they sell AMG, they don't sell vans. If they sell vans, they don't sell AMGs. Is that correct?
I've seen it mixed sometimes. There's Atlanta Classic Center here in Georgia that sells the AMG bins and vans as well.
We need an AMG van.
Well, yeah, that'd work. But you don't expect? Do you expect dealers to order some of these to show customers already kind of spec'd out, or do you think this is purely going to be a custom order item?
I think we'll see a little bit of both. I think starting off, it'll be more of a custom order just so we can get a feel for kind of how many people are looking to buy this.
Yeah, I think the smart dealer is going to have one in stock just to show people what it can do.
Oh, yeah, because it'd be hard to explain really
not
what
gonna
it is.
be able to keep that in stock. Are you kidding me?
true.
Ashley, we've got to go. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure working with you
love
on this
this.
little project. And next time, give us some more projects to work on, and you and I will make it happen.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Ashley Gilliam with Mercedes-Benz. We got more of the In Wheel Time program right after this.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's In Wheel Time, your weekly award-winning live car talk show. Just ahead, Randy Borcherding at Paint House on the house
that he didn't paint.
That he didn't paint. It sits on a trailer-looking thing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about serious toy hauling now.
Yeah. How do you haul a $1 million paint job across the country without damaging it, without having that car move inside that trailer?
Exactly.
That's the mystery. We'll also have our Jeep Trails feature. And speaking of mystery, we'll also have our Mystery Garage at today's Auto News. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us. Let's just get right to Randy, shall we? Randy Borcherding is with Paint House. Randy, hey, look at that thing, man.
I don't know if you can see me or not. I cannot see you.
Yeah, well, we can see you just fine, but we want to see inside that trailer. That's a fifth-wheel trailer.
Yeah, but it's unique.
Well, I'll say it's unique. This first of all, this is one of those kind of trailers that we call a fifth wheel. So it's kind of like an 18-wheeler where that hitch right there goes into the center of the bed or a specialty bobtail. Yeah, that thing, that's major league there, brother.
Except you're absolutely wrong.
No, I am. That's Don Armstrong.
There you go.
I've been told that by multiple wives.
Yeah, I hear you.
We hear Jennifer laughing.
The Aluminum Trailer Company, I think, Corporation. We've converted it to a gooseneck.
So it's different. So the gooseneck actually hitches to a ball.
Correct.
Aha.
It normally would come with a fifth wheel attachment. We converted it to this just for the simplicity of it. We don't have to have a fifth wheel hitch in our truck now. We can drop it right on the normal gooseneck ball that we use on all of our other trailers.
So lots of bed.
So I'm sorry, Jen, what did you say?
So it gives you lots of bed space, and you don't have to remove something for somebody like me.
Bed space in the truck, not in the trailer.
Yeah.
So let me ask you both. The truck is capable of pulling it with a ball? Because that thing's big and it's got to weigh a ton.
Well, it actually weighs less than you might think. The trailer weighs 11,000 empty. The RV that we had before this weighed 16,000 pounds empty. This one can haul 10,000 pounds of cargo, so a full-size vehicle, tools, camping gear, plenty of cargo carrying capability, and our dually hauls it fine, either one of them.
Wow, man, that's really cool. Did you think this up, or did you steal this idea from somebody?
This is ATC. This is their new kind of hybrid RV / car hauling unit. So we go on trips where we're gone for days or weeks at a time. But now we have our house with us, and we can haul a full-size vehicle, go to the show, wherever it might be, and we got everything with us. We don't have to pack a suitcase because we hitch it to the truck.
I love that part.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, I just said I love that part where we don't have to pack a suitcase and not be able to carry enough shoes or whatever it is that you want to take with you.
Yeah, because we know Randy has so many different pairs of shoes he brings with him.
Well, don't forget mine with my red pumps. I need to have a room in there, too. So I have to ask you both, are we going to get a tour of the inside?
Absolutely.
He wants to show you some
I'll
outside.
give you a quick outside run through, and then we'll go inside where all the magic happens.
We're ready.
All right, so under here, it's got a 7,000 K generator.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
All 3 AC units on the generator. And it does have 3 AC units. We are in Texas, after all. Propane for water heater, cooking, camping out on a grill, that kind of stuff. It's got a 35-gallon fuel tank with a fuel nozzle, just like at your gas pump. So whether it's race fuel for your toy, for your hot rod, fuel for the generator, it all comes out of a 35-gallon tank.
Wow.
Under here is pass-through storage, goes all the way through. There's doors on both sides. And this was an option, but the pull-out tray makes it awfully easy to get to all the junk you haul in here.
Oh, for sure.
So, Randy, did you special order this, or did you buy this off the lot?
We got it from ATC. It was their demo model.
It was a concept.
So this was their first unit. If you go online and look at their videos, this is the trailer in their videos.
Yeah.
But it's got all the options.
And I see it's got some of that Paint House white paint on the outside of it.
Yeah, special color. It looks all white.
All right, let's go inside.
AC units because it's kind of loud while they're on.
We can't hear it. It's all good. Wow, look at that nice kitchen.
So back here is the business end of the trailer, although Jen has it decorated like our house because we live in it full time. So basically, if you see
Full
where I'm
time when
standing
you're
now,
on the road. You don't live in it full time.
Full time.
No, we live in it full time. We have lived in a RV for the last 3 years.
Oh my gosh, I had no clue.
Yeah.
We've learned to live small.
Wow.
From this point to the back wall is 18 and a half feet. So that is how much cargo space you have. Even though it's all dolled up like a house right now, all of the furniture here, this countertop, this bed goes up, this couch folds up, this whole area becomes your cargo space. Underneath the rugs, I think Jen can show you, under the rugs is the cargo floor, tie down strips.
Oh, wow.
You can haul anything you want here up to 8.5 feet long, or say 8 feet with a little bit of slack.
So what you're telling me
Everything
is
up to
that
like,
where you're standing right now, Randy, where you're standing right now, that would be where a car would be?
That's the garage.
Yes.
That
That's the-
door where the train picture is,
Yes.
The ramp door.
that's the ramp door.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
the ramp door right back there.
So when you
This bed will go all the way up to the swing. Yes, sir.
so when you haul one of those $1 million cars, it's in your living quarters?
Yes.
Well,
it's in our living room, but the advantage to this is everything forward of that, kitchen, bathroom, and bedroom, we're going to swap places, is accessible, and we can stop anywhere we want, use the restroom, make a meal, take a nap, sleep overnight, camp, whatever you want, all the while having the car in our care.
So that way the car is secure and you know nobody's going to mess with it.
Exactly. If they come in to get the car, they're going to have to deal with me first.
And we don't want to do that.
We'll have to deal with Jennifer first. She'll
Oh,
wake up.
now we're headed up towards your bedroom, but we're gonna make the bathroom stop or what?
Yeah,
Here's the bathroom.
Here's the bathroom. I'm gonna get in the shower so you guys can see how, like, get an idea.
It's got a lot of cabinet storage above, below, sink. Jen's in the shower, toilet. I mean, it's as big as the bathroom in our other RV and probably more useful, quite honestly.
Wow.
Absolutely fascinating.
The
that
one
looks
thing
like-
about
that-
this trailer is it's all aluminum. There's no wood in this unit. Nothing to degrade or break or fall apart. There's no steel in the trailer. It's all aluminum everywhere.
And pictures of some of the cars you've done adorn the inside of the trailer.
Of course.
You know, and
But
by the
again-
way, Randy, anytime if you'll let me borrow Jen for just a few hours to come decorate my house, it would be greatly appreciated.
Be careful. You better get your credit card out.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
So it's got storage under the bed. Where Jen's standing now, you can't see it. There's a double closet that could also be a washer dryer connection. So you could actually do your laundry in this thing.
What do you guys do normally for laundry?
Quite honestly, we do a wash and fold usually.
Send it out.
Yeah.
That's the easy way to do it.
They fold shirts in a way that I can't figure out, and I love it.
So is this the trailer you used last year for SEMA, or did this come after SEMA?
No, we got it just before the Detroit Autorama this year.
Okay.
So we picked it up in February.
Wow.
We still have our other car.
Your paint house trailer.
We may keep the other one. We may sell it. We're not sure yet.
Well,
But this one, we take everything with us.
well, I might be in the market for some new living quarters.
I'm just thinking, you could put the Corvette in the back.
Randy and Jen's hand-me-down. I'm in.
Well, no, you want this one. You don't want the old one. You
Well,
want this
no.
one.
I mean, if they've got this one, I can only imagine what their reject is.
Well, that's the old one that has paint house and stuff all over the side of it. What you want to
I
do
don't care.
is you want when they move up, you want this one.
Yeah.
You hear that, Jen? You need to move up so Don can have a place to live.
We can work that out. Anyway,
Well-
it's made by Aluminum Trailer Company. Y'all go check out their website. It's an incredible unit. And I've had a lot of trailers. Trust me, I've had some experiences.
Well,
If we can answer any questions for anybody too, tell them to reach out.
okay, that's painthouse.com.
Painthouse TX.
Yeah, PaintHouseTX.com. So I have to ask you, when you trailer one of those $1 million cars that you win these awards with, do you have to strap it down in any special way? You obviously have got it down where you don't damage the car, because I know going down the road, especially in a trailer where you're not inside of it, cars can move around even though that they're tied down. How do you keep them from moving around in there and maybe damaging a fender?
I'll show you a little bit. You pull the carpet back here.
There's a winch in my kitchen.
There's a winch in the floor.
Oh my gosh.
So a winch. Not a winch, a winch.
A winch, okay. I'm glad you put the N in there.
Yeah, so this thing would go in here. If your car is not able to be driven in, or you don't want to drive it in, you can winch it in.
Okay.
Then I had them add the typical D-rings to the floor.
Yep.
And we've got 3 runs of airline track. So there's plenty of ways to strap one vehicle, several. If you're moving your mom somewhere, you can strap furniture in here, whatever you need to do.
Whatever size you need.
Side-by-sides, motorcycles, it doesn't matter. I typically always use max tie-downs as the straps I prefer. And there's a controversy. Do you run them straight or do you X them? Max says run them straight. I got to say, I've always X'd them. There's a running debate on that in the trailer hauling industry.
And when we haven't X'd them, it has not been a good experience.
Oh, really?
We've had vehicles move around in the trailer when the straps are running straight. And trust me, they were as tight as I could get them. When I X them, they don't move.
Well, again, that's the experience you've had doing this for so long. You understand how to secure the vehicle, because you don't need that vehicle kind of getting close to something and rubbing some of that beautiful Randy Apple red off of it.
We've had a couple times, again, when I've run the strap straight, I've had them shift sideways when you hit some bad road.
That's, yeah.
That truck we had at SEMA put a tiny little scuff in that fender. It was.
Oh, wow. Did you darn near have a heart attack when you saw it?
Oh, yeah. When we hit the back, kind of knew something. We had to pull over and look, and sure enough, it had moved.
Scary. Yeah.
We've also the walls and up top, and there's a row down here low. The lower row allows all this furniture to be modular. So this kitchen table setup could be further back or on this side if you want to.
Oh, wow.
It all folds up against the walls when you're hauling something. And then these straps give me places to
mount our coffee bar.
Ladders, anything we want to keep up on the wall that's tall, perhaps. And we can use regular ratcheting straps and keep it very secure. Then all the artsy-fartsy stuff we tuck away under the bed while we're traveling.
And that way Jen can rearrange the furniture on you and really confuse you the next time you walk in.
Hey, that's fine. It feels like I get a new trailer.
every time you leave.
Randy, Jen, thank you all so much for spending some time with us.
awesome.
They're absolutely fascinating with the new trailer, and I know you guys have got to be happy. And we need to get together soon. We talked to you on this Zoom thing, and that's great. But we love to see you guys. And thanks so much for giving us the tour today. We really appreciate it.
Indeed. Hopefully the COVID thing will go away and we can get back on the road.
All of us, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Randy and Jen Borcherding with Paint House. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great to see you guys. All right, we need to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after these messages.
Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at texastruckworks.com.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
It's the In Wheel Time Car Show, and a reminder that next week we're going to be on from now until the end of time from 10 until noon. And I know that I'm excited about it, and I hope that you'll be excited about it
That's right.
too.
Back
And
to our roots.
back
Saturday
to-
morning with In Wheel Time.
That's right. So next Saturday and from now until eternity, 10 to noon. All right, time now for our Jeep Trails feature, In Wheel Time's weekly look into the world of Jeeping, and Mr. Mars has that.
You know, Jeep, the thing I love about Jeeps is they're all outside, just like Randy was showing us. Everybody wants to get out and about and doing things. But sometimes if you're a new family and you're getting started, you got little ones, you got little children you got to deal with, so you need maybe a baby stroller or something. Jeep has the answer for you. It's an European-style baby stroller with a sun visor. It's got a 3-point safety harness to hold that little one that's in there. Got plenty of storage compartments. Got a parent organizer. Got a parent cup holder on the side by the handle so that you can hold your beverage while you're walking down the street.
Just say, go ahead and say it. It's gin and tonic or
It's
whatever it is.
It's got front swivel wheels, and it's got a suspension system on it, suitable for children up to 40 pounds. And it's got Jeep logos all over it.
Is it trail rated?
Well, looking at this,
It's got some strap-on
it's off-road, so
things
I'm
to
going to
hold
say
it in the cup holder.
Well, you got a 3-point harness to hold the child in there.
Did I just say that? I'm sorry.
So put it there with the sun visors, and away you go. All right, next, more for the Jeep lifestyle. You got to love it.
All right, let's do next. Do we have the mystery garage?
Yes, we do.
We went through a couple of weeks of trying to get everything in order to give us room in here, because this was basically my... You got. You go through stuff and you say, I haven't used that, toss it, but wait a minute, I might have some use for that. Wheels, put everything on casters. Lines coming up right after another quick little break.
A crying baby is impossible to ignore, but a quiet baby, can be easy to forget. Every year, dozens of children lose their lives because otherwise attentive adults forgot they were in the back seat. It only takes a moment for a car to heat up to dangerous levels, even on cooler days. So get in the habit of always looking in the back seat and use reminders to ensure baby is always with you. Where's baby? Look before you lock. Paid for by NHTSA.
Social distancing slows the spread of coronavirus, so stay a minimum of 6 feet away from others and stay home if you can. More info at coronavirus.gov. Let's all do our part, because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
All right, you don't have to get your clown suit on. Running a little bit behind, but after uncorking a flurry of discounts when the economy was cratering, automakers are going back to the drawing board on their incentive strategies. I thought that this was
Really?
an interesting story. Yes, when they were giving away financing,
7 years, 6 months delayed payment.
Not good for everybody, and my guess is probably not too good for the automakers because now they're running short of supplies. For instance, trucks, they're putting on 3 shifts at truck plants all around the United States and Mexico trying to catch up because the demand's there and dealers don't have them.
If you want the current incentive plan, which is going to change June 1st, you need to get out today or Sunday if you've got a dealership that's open Sunday because they are going to drop these humongous incentives the 1st of June.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, it says here, as vehicle production ramps up after a 2-month shutdown, automakers will reassess incentive programs that largely expire June 1st.
There you go.
And even without incentives, analysts say there is plenty of natural demand in the retail market again. TrueCar's search, traffic, and purchase intent returned to previous virus levels in the last 2 weeks of April and continue to increase going into Memorial Day weekend. So buying is back, and if you're really not into paying new cars, man, get into the used car market, get into the pre-owned, and we're going to have actually a show coming up that we're going to talk about used and pre-owned, all of that, and I think that we're going to do that. Are we not going to do that on our next show?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's going to be on our next show. So we invite you to tune in. And again, I want to remind you that our show's changing hours. Next weekend, it's going to be from 10 until noon from here to eternity. And we're never going back. We're not looking back. We're not going back. We're here, baby.
I'm too old to be looking behind me. I got to look forward. I got to keep going.
Yeah, well, the forward ain't all that anymore, is it?
Sure.
It gets really, it's getting tighter and tighter.
Can't slow down. Somebody will catch up with us.
Yeah, well, there is that. All right. Well, I'm going to get to my closing page here if I can find it because I have juggled all of this stuff around.
We had a lot of stuff today.
We did have a lot of stuff today, and we were off to a shaky start like we always are. But you know what? It wouldn't be this program if it weren't for the shaky start.
Recovery. Nice recovery.
That's it for today's In Wheel Time Car Show. When you're on Facebook, please give us a like. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn Hunting features, along with all things automotive. And while you're online, join us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and every other social media website known to man. Our website is InWheelTime.com. Podcasts of this show are available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict, and probably more. In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our video technical director today, Mr. Jeffrey Zekin. Blame it all on him. Special thanks to all of our guests today, from Mike Out of This World Mars and King Conrad DeLong, Don Armstrong. Thank you for following In Wheel Time. Be sure and do us a favor and tell your car friends about us. Share our posts and encourage your friends and family to join all of us. Have a great week. Stay cool like you know you are. We'll see you live online next Saturday at our new time, 10 to noon Central, on all your popular social media platforms. We'll see you then. Keep it clean.